Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to the Mirror Mysteries. Let us continue. So, last level we established the bold claim that I am sticking with. The feeling that I'm not sure anybody can actually beat this game without using hints. We've used so many up to this point. And even now when we are given hints, it's just circling areas that I'm clicking on and I'm still not seeing the items that they want.
The children would love this place. This looks like Teddy, Tommy's favorite toy.
So we're getting some dialogue here. I wish that this had been like the first area she started to talk about the children and try to build it up, but still the storyline's awful. It's just awful. And I have this scary feeling that what the game is going to do is try to put some twist on it and say the children were already dead, or they died and that's why she moved, or something else, or there never were children. Just some lame last second twist. Feels like it might happen here, as far as the story. It's a very strange feeling to be arguing that a game shouldn't have bothered with the story, but if this is the story they were going to give us, the game shouldn't have bothered with the story. It's so strange. Such a strange thing to do. I've been critical of many video games for having moderately weak stories, but I've never thought, well, the game would have been better with nothing. But this one, really, if it's what we've gotten up to this point versus nothing, I would have preferred nothing. There might be a trick here, since I am playing this on a like 30-inch TV from 10 feet away, and it's zoomed in on the TV settings a little bit. If my eyes were directly in front of a computer monitor, maybe I would see some more stuff. I just don't think that's true. With the magnifier in particular, I'm really not having any trouble seeing. I mean, I can see the few pixels that make the X in that eye fine with the magnifier. So it's not really a size issue. It's a color issue. It's how much of the object is actually on the screen and versus the object being hidden behind several other pieces of things. And I really haven't experienced a hidden object game that has done it this way. Just where you would get small bits of it and you had to recognize that the rest of the object was hidden behind something. That's not a hidden object game. That's, well, I mean, you'd have to come up with a new term. This is a irritating game. It's an unfair game. Yeah. Even in any other gameplay element, if there was some key card or key you needed to pick up, if that key was depicted in such a way that it was 75% behind some other object and you only saw the edge of it, I would be incredibly frustrated by that in any other game, any other example. It goes from being a fun challenge to being a frustration. And I've been frustrated by a lot of games, and it's usually not super fun to be frustrated by them. to have to sit here and go, well, the game has lost me. I don't want to play along anymore. I just kind of want to get through it. I'm not saying I'm quite to that point yet with this game, but I certainly have been to that point in other games, and it's never fun thing to put on YouTube. It's never what I want to be saying about games. I want to play good games. I want to applaud games for uh, their good parts, and in my perspective, if they could, which I don't know if it is actually feasible, if they could always make perfect games, I would be great. That would be a great way for me as a video game critic to go out of business, is if they could just consistently always make perfect games, and I couldn't throw any suggestions in there, or any improvements, or any criticisms. That is the exact way I would love to go out of business, versus getting frustrated out of business because games get worse and worse, which I wouldn't say they are. If anything, they are getting better and better in general. They get longer, they get more ambitious, they have more mechanics, better storylines, better voice acting. We've had quite a bit of increase as far as our voice acting lately. Somewhat, I would say, to the detriment of video games, because voice actors or regular TV face actors have tried to get into video games and then not done as well of a job as the seasoned professionals that have done voice acting for video games for a long time. Of course, we don't have a lot of people that are seasoned video game voice actors, and they get used quite a lot, and it gets kind of redundant. Much like how many of the voices done for Looney Tunes and such were just the same few people. It says I have a ton of stuff here. There's like a piece of wood here, a piece of wood here. There's a ring here, a ring here, piece of paper, and a piece of paper. So these things must be in front of other things. And that's why I'm not seeing them. I guess since we know this is a flag that goes here, there couldn't be any pickup item too close to it. Is there something hidden in the wood? I'm just clicking everywhere. I think it's time for a hint. So here we have it circling right here. What is the item that it's clicking on? Oh, it's this item here in the background, and you can see only slightly behind these pillars, this railway, and here. That's the only part of that you can see. That's not fair. Not fair at all. That's just frustration. Frustration creating. So when you know that that's the level of difficulty, or that's this game's way of increasing difficulty, I got something off the lid there. And then I get a little glob of glue. Is there anything else I need to get? There's another glob of glue. Is there another glob of glue somewhere? Or I don't know what it is. That may not actually be a glob of glue or anything. I don't think you really even need a difficulty spike in a hidden object game. I think it's more of a, you're just gonna have those at random occurrences anyway, so your best bet is just to make a bunch of them, keep them all about the same level of difficulty, and from that point, just let people enjoy it at their own pace. This really does feel like a game you'd play on a daily commute. Just every day you'd work on one, and then as you arrive, as your train or bus or subway arrived at its destination, it would just save your progress, and you'd wait till your next commute trip. So we're missing this one, and this one. It feels really strange that there'd just be a piece of wood. And I'm not seeing it at all. But that's exactly the case. So, time for another hint. Oh, it's that piece of wood. It was right here on the roof. Okay. I get that. And that turns into like a butterfly net. That one was right in front of my eyes. I just didn't see it. It's too mixed into the colors. Doesn't stand out enough. This would probably be a nightmare game if you had color blindness. I think colorblind people need not apply for a game like this. It's just not gonna work for you. You could probably, even more frustratingly, get like 30% or 90% of the way done, and then there'll just be the last 10% of them will be impossible for you if you're colorblind, depending on what style of color blindness you have, since they're all kind of different. But then the hint system kind of will work your way out of that. Okay, there was the round thing. So we're seeing this and this are the last pieces. But the problem here is I just want to hit hint again. We have to wait a little bit, but I've been so over this. I am over this, and I have been over this. If you get my drift. I'm done with this area because I've looked everywhere. And it's just repetitive at this point. It's like back and forth. There's the log. So okay, I'll fully admit I never looked in that section, and that was the problem. So we know there's only 4 sections here, so let's just go back to the first one and see if we're done here. I think we need this here, so that lets us pick up that. And I think that we may be done for now. Let's see. Nope, we can put these rocks here. And are we done for now? Now. No, because it opens this. And then here is the key. That's one half of it. And the knife, that's part of it. And that's part of it. And so now we're looking for the second part of the key, which is right there. So that opens the chest, which means we're done for now. But there was no mirror pieces in the chest. Well, we can place the rope bridge here now, but we don't know particularly where this is, where it goes. Here's the section. So these little drumsticks actually are part of the wheel. Nice. Here's a feather. And then we have some shells here that we want to get. So we got those shells. Then we got a piece of wood that we want to get. There it is. And that, I believe, does everything. Well, that wasn't a piece of wood, it was a piece of fabric. So I think that means we're done for this. Right? Now we've got some things to place. I guess these go here. And that screen is finished. Nice. So we finished one. Let's go back here. We've got a couple things we need to place somewhere. Like feathers for his hat. And what's the next thing? This to patch that. But that's not something we can do right now. So is there anything else we can do? There must be. Otherwise it wouldn't say, it would say we were done for now. One would hope. There's a rock to find. Okay, his mouth opened. And in the mouth we put the shell. And in the shell we get a pearl. And that makes a pearl earring, it looks like. And now we're done for now. So there was a little bit of interaction there that was different from the standard hidden object puzzles. We've got a flag we can place here. And let's see, what else? Okay, we can put the pearl earring in there, and that moves him, which totally makes that a whole new scene. So that's pretty unfair, but whatever. We unlock the door, we get this glass. We found everything. Now, the screen is finished. So we come back here, we take this, we put it here, and that patches that. And that means we can pick up this screw, which means we now have some kind of feathers. We're using all the shared item slots. Screen is finished. So, last question is, where do these go? I guess they go right here.
Thank you so much for helping our kingdom. You are the two mirror pieces. I hope they will help you too.
Let's take a moment to talk about gameplay design too. Why is it that we get this piece that makes the feather, the algae here, finish the scene. And that's the big save the day action. Not stopping the bowl from leaking from water. Putting the algae in the right place saves the day. Why is that? I'll tell you why it is that. Bad writing. Just bad writing. Plus, they painted themselves in the corner. They wanted the fish on screen when it talked to you. But, it wouldn't have been that hard to say you're done with the everything and then had the people come back. Because look, there is an object here that's not checked. So apparently I didn't place this object.
Thank you for your kindness. Your kingdom is quite
Weird.
lovely. Charlotte and Tommy would love it here.
Is she underwater right now? I'm strangely confused about this. Did we never place this, or is it just a bug in the game? I'm gonna say it's a bug in the game. No, it's not. So we don't get the mirror pieces, I guess, until we do this. That's even stranger. That is even stranger.
Humans are so overflowing with surprises. I had forgotten.
When this is over,
You will do nothing. Your tasks are completed only when I say so. And your children will be released to you at my leisure and not a moment sooner.
Doubling down on evil mirror. Just doubling down on being an evil mirror. I mean, come on. Really. So it seems like everything is in order here. Next time we'll have we'll get like either one mirror piece and then that will build it, or we'll get 2 mirror pieces and they'll combine to build it, or we'll just have an extra mirror piece. Wouldn't it be funny if we did all of this and it was still short a mirror piece? So we can't go to any of the previous areas. Let's just go to the final area.
it's a little dark in here, but I'm sure I've been here before. I'll have to find a light and get a better look. Find some clues.
Yeah, this is probably the house you walked in to find the mirrors. So now we've just completely gone away from fantasy. It feels like they were doing a fantasy tale, and now we're back to just old hallway, whatever this is gonna be. Let's see, how many things can I click on and find before I even have to zoom in? There definitely is just some wild swings as far as whether you find something or not. So there's a railing missing right there. There's a banister, is that what those are called? There's the hat. Where's the tie? How many elements can we find without even having to zoom in? Quite a few. So we know that's not for this area. I wonder if I'm gonna find out that this last section is even shorter than all the others. Is that a tie? There we go. Had to use the magnifier to see if that was a tie, and nope, it was a shadow. Yes, because I look for ties hanging from chandeliers for some reason. I don't know why I thought that was one of the first places I decided to look. There's a ball. There's a piece of wood. There's the tie. So we've got a whole set of clothing. There's that piece. So that goes right there. Which shows this panel, which shows that we need a very old fuse box that needs a handle. Interesting. Wood paneling with a fuse box behind it. That would be cool. I wouldn't mind a house this fancy. Of course, I would somewhat object to an evil mirror in a house that fancy. I wouldn't mind a magic mirror, just an evil one that's gonna force me to do hidden object puzzle games and take my kids. You could have turned this story around. I mean, I've talked about it before, but you could have really had the mirror be gentle and nice and say the kids were with me, and they accidentally broke it. I need your help to save us all quickly before the worlds disappear. Set everything back right. And then you've got a situation where nobody's really to blame, nobody's really the bad guy, that just it accidentally happened, and let's all work together and solve each other's problems and be happy for it. To just have him be a direct antagonist, it's so weird. We don't have stories like that anymore. That's like a 1940s movie, the mustache twirling land baron, or Rocky and Bullwinkle type stuff, where we just don't have stories like that where somebody is bad and they just love being bad and there's no real reason or explanation. We have nuance today, at least some nuance, maybe not enough. Speaking of not enough, I am not finding these last few pieces. So what have we learned so far when we don't find things? It's because they're off to the side like that, or it's because they're in front of something, or hidden in the shade of something. So there's a piece here too. Little piano music going on in the background here. It's a pretty good musical score, I would say. There's nothing terrible about it. I'm slightly noticing it, but not getting annoyed by it. Nowhere near as annoyed as some of the places and layouts of the hidden objects. So we're looking for like a rod here. A circle here, there's the circle. And then... that was the only thing we could find anyways. Interesting. House reflection world. So that was the old hallway. And it looks like we're gonna have 4 sections. So 3 more. And then we will see if that's just gonna give us a cutscene, or if we're gonna actually have to do this mirror, and that will be the final wrap up, or not. It would be interesting if it started some kind of completely different timed puzzle, like a jigsaw puzzle where you had to put the mirror pieces back together. I mean, it's kind of astonishing there hasn't been a single jigsaw puzzle where you had to put the pieces back together. You don't even put the pieces in the right place when you're done here. So it would be interesting if it did put some kind of different element at the end as a boss battle. But I don't know that that's gonna happen. I guess we might find out next time. Anywho, that's gonna be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.